tree next to, I didn't think about it until he said.
You know, if Bob shows up, I might trade places with Lori near Bob.
guess.
Because he and I riff, look, only because he and I riff together sometimes.
To put in enough,
It depends where he wants to sit though.
well, okay.
And he, like I said, he and I will riff together.
Well, you got a whole thing going.
Whatever
Oh,
works.
come on.
You got,
John,
you better watch.
I know.
John, you've been there when Bob and I start riffing together.
That's a thing. So that's good.
That's what I was trying to do with Ruthie last night, but she wasn't quite there with me.
It's none of my business.
buying in.
Don't tell.
Well, she wasn't.
I don't want to hear
Yeah, you
it.
guys give me a little, what's a good
You and
little
Bob can do it whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever that
good.
means.
I'm trying to get that going because it sounds really
Yeah.
cool. Bob always does it with me, and I was like, "Where's Bob?"
Oh, I
Bob.
wonder, yeah.
I heard he was coming tonight.
That's what David said.
And what about, Nate? Is he coming?
Who?
Berkowitz?
I don't know if Mike is coming. I don't know if Mike is coming.
He hasn't been.
He hasn't been
I
well.
know his email was like, he's been really looking forward to it, so.
Yeah, he would have been here last night, I think, if he was coming. But you know, I really should give Mike and Natalie a buzz. I haven't talked to them in a while. We were trying to plan an evening with them, and COVID crap kept happening. We had to keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. This was like back in October we were trying to plan it. There we go. No more disturbing phone calls and messages.
I know.
Are they in a safe place, David?
What?
Are they in a safe place now?
What's in a safe place? Yes.
Yeah?
They're in a safe place. As long as I remember them, they're safe.
Away from your stomach?
That's right.
Where did I put
Yeah.
mine? Oh, for crying out loud, what did I do with this? And I should take my inhaler or I'm not gonna be on to go.
I think I might not want to wear a sweater.
It's warm.
Even with the windows open. How are you doing?
How are you doing?
Inhaler.
All right.
It's just it's just asthma.
Just for a week, just some
Glad to see you're
We don't
feeling
need
better.
cedar. Oh, we
That's
don't.
right.
at least 5.
Well, I'm just assuming that people will not use text for the Ami-Down. I've got, didn't we use it when, like I just made a sheet that has Misha Barak on one side and Morgan Status on the other side. I made one. Might have been the time that I didn't share it without you.
You feeling better, Rabbi? Good. I hope this won't affect anything, but the sign outside says service is at 7:30.
Yes, because I completely forgot to change this.
Oh, it's you? You're the one who does this? I wouldn't have said it so loudly.
No, be honest, we usually do it together, and I'm sure he reminded me a few weeks ago, but I completely forgot, and he was away. And
Well, hopefully nobody's going to not come now and nobody.
By the time I remembered it was yesterday, and I didn't think there was any point in changing it last night.
We will probably still be going at 7:30 and
You know, I apologize, Rabbi, because I'm sure you reminded me a few weeks ago, and
also possible that I didn't.
well, you know, I'm sure you probably did, and I just blanked on it. Like I said, it occurred to me yesterday that I had never changed the sign this week, and that I probably should have.
We can yell at each other, we can blend our voices.
Don't worry about it, Karen. Sit down, make yourself comfortable.
Karen was sitting next to me.
No, we're happy to have your voice with the rest of the ladies.
Want me to move?
Bob, I was up all morning. I don't know.
Watch out
a little bit.
Yep.
I know just me, you know, I was other people don't like, you know, I'm okay on the inside. I almost, actually, I don't have to get it. Do you need a big print version, James?
Wait. 3 weeks. The single was on Vegas.
I've got my glasses, I'm all set. Great. So you had one that's, take care of.
Not really.
I'm going to see the hearing warrant Sunday.
I haven't done that since I was a kid.
I didn't know it existed. I went like 12 years ago with tomorrow. And I found it on Facebook May after 6.
David, what song is this solo?
And they're having a best
Some Rue 99.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I thought you were doing breathing exercise. You can tell what I was doing like that.
I can see clearly now the rain is coming. I can see all.
You can do an air capture. Hey, you go out of town, so they.
Yeah.
You get to see it for a little while.
More than one circle.
Everybody down a little bit. We can squeeze it at the end. Slide everybody down one, whatever. We can slide. We have plenty of room. I can slide over a little bit. We can squeeze it like a chair. I can go like this.
I'm old school.
Well, I know, what can I say? You
You just slide another chair in. We're making room for you.
Mivarchim, that's the people in the circle. Let's meet very briefly on the bima. On the.
Okay.
So,
Wants to sit there.
Oh, okay.
Check.
Yeah, we can open up another chair.
Lucy and I are gonna go in the back row because nobody likes us. I didn't say that. I don't like that. No, I don't like that.
so it's amazing when a little
Managed to not have that. Come on. You haven't seen me in years. Yeah. Oh, I
guys in.
You can easily make
We can easily make room.
Close it by committee now.
We can make room.
Would you like some John around here?
You want everything?
Well, you're the one that took the chair.
No, I just sat down. I didn't even know that this was your chair.
We're having cheer problems.
Oh, sure. I'll stay. It's okay. I'm gonna be by myself. No, there's room over there.
I started here. I came early.
Yes, but see, Shanna and I do
We egg each other on. In a good way.
Okay.
Do you want to sit next to me and get me in trouble all night?
Go ahead, Sam. All right, ooh, that's way too loud. Way too loud. Testing, testing. Okay. I gotta turn that down.
No, that's not the right chair. Someone's gonna trip over it.
Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing.
Good?
Testing, testing, testing.
Well, you'll be in the
Okay. Okay. Guys. It's a raucous group. In a good way. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya 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 la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la ya la la ya la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya 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 la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya 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 la 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 ya la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la la, ya la 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 ya la. Could you do me a favor? Turn up the regular mics one thing and our wireless down one thing. Shabbat Shalom. It is so good to be here with all of you this Shabbat evening. In the month of Nisan, the month of freedom, welcome to Shabbat Nashira, our Shabbat of singing, of sacred song. I invite you to treat this service as a kind of meditation. Let the spiritual energy of our Mevarchim, our blessers in this middle area, fill you with song and lift you higher, and let that energy be contagious, only in the spiritual sense. All of the words that you need for this service, a little logistics, are on a sheet that looks like this, plus a sheet that looks like this. Oh, this is only Misha Barak and Mourner's Kaddish. So if you know those, you don't even need this sheet. If you want to have a Siddur, they're here for you, but everything that you really need for this service is on this sheet, and there's a larger print version for those who prefer it. Our next prayer is a selection from something called Yedid Nefesh, which means dear one of my soul. A love poem from Israel to God. The singer in the poem is seeking something called Dveikut, which means union with God. And singing is one of the most powerful ways to achieve Dveikut. In the line that we're singing, Higale na, reveal yourself, please. We plead with God to reveal God's self to us and to spread over us God's shelter of peace and wholeness. Higale, gale, gale, na, ufros, kavivi alai, et sukat, Higale, gale, gale, na, ufros, kavivi alai, et sukat, Higale, gale. na ufros kavivi alai et sukat shlomecha et sukat Ya'alo Sadai v'chol asher bo Ya'alo Sadai ay 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 Ya'alo Sadai v'chol asher bo Ya'alo Sadai ay 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 Az Yiraninu kol hatzeyar Az Yiraninu Kol hatzeyar Az Yiraninu Kol hatzeyar Az Yiraninu Kol hatzeyar Ya'alo Sadai V'chol asher bo Ya'alo Sadai ay 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 Ya'alo Sadai V'chol asher bo Ya'alo Sadai ay 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 Az Yiraninu Kol hatzeyar Az Yiraninu Kol hatzeyar Az Yiraninu Kol hatzeyar Az Yiraninu Kol hatzeyar Ya'alo Sadai V'chol asher bo Ya'alo Sadai ay 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 Ya'alo Sadai V'chol asher bo Ya'alo Sadai ay 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 Az Yiraninu Kol hatzeyar Az Yiraninu Kol hatzeyar Az Yiraninu Kol hatzeyar Az Yiraninu Kol hatzeyar Ya'alo Sadai V'chol asher bo Ya'alo Sadai ay 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 Ya'alo Sadai V'chol asher bo Ya'alo Sadai ay 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 Az Yiraninu Kol hatzeyar Az Yiraninu Kol hatzeyar Az Yiraninu Kol hatzeyar Az Yiraninu Kol hatzeyar Ya'alo Sadai V'chol asher bo Ya'alo Sadai ay 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 Ya'alo Sadai V'chol asher bo Ya'alo Sadai ay 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 Az Yiraninu Kol hatzeyar Az Yiraninu Kol hatzeyar Az Yiraninu Kol hatzeyar Az Yiraninu Kol hatzeyar Ya'alo Sadai וכל אשר בו יעלו שדי, איי 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 איי, יעלו שדי, וכל אשר בו יעלו שדי, איי 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 איי. Zamaru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor, v'kol zimra. Zamaru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor, v'kol zimra. Zamru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor, v'kol zimra. Zamru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor, v'kol zimra. Zamaru Adonai bechinor, bechinor, v'kol zimra. Zamaru Adonai bechinor, bechinor, v'kol zimra. Zamru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor, v'kol zimra. Zamru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor, v'kol zimra. Zamru Adonai bechinor, bechinor, v'kol zimra. Zamru Adonai bechinor, bechinor, v'kol zimra. Zamru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor, v'kol zimra. Zamru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor, v'kol zimra. Zamru l'Adonai bechinor, בכינור וכל זמרה. זמרו לאדוני בכינור, בכינור וכל זמרה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. לראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורי קומי אורי. אורי אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. 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 בואי בשלום ותרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת לקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת לקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת לקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת מקבלה. You may be seated.
So far, our songs have been part of what is called Kabbalat Shabbat, welcoming Shabbat. The section culminates here in Lecha Dodi as we turn to greet the Shabbat bride. In that last verse we sing, Boi Kala, Boi Kala, come in, bride, come in. We face the door to welcome her in. Next week, at our Seders, we also will welcome people in. In the broadest sense, many people invite guests to their Seder, family or friends, sometimes newer acquaintances. And as a congregation, we welcome people into our communal Seder on Zoom on Saturday for the second night. But at the Seder itself, we traditionally open the doors to welcome people twice. The first time is when we uncover the matzah. We say, halachma anya, this is the bread of affliction, which our ancestors ate in the land of Egypt. We know from that experience what it is like not to have enough food, or decent food, and to have to make do with this unleavened, modified cardboard. And so we say, Kol dichvin yetev yechol, all who are hungry, come in and eat. Now, we may not literally bring hungry people into our houses, but that is why Passover is traditionally a meaningful time to make a significant donation to a food pantry, to enable all who are hungry to eat. And after we say that, we go on to say, Hashata Avde, this year we are slaves, L'shana haba'ah b'nei chorim. Next year, we will all be free. Too many people may be enslaved to hunger, poverty, food insecurity now. But we have the ability to bring freedom, to bring liberation from that kind of want. So this is the first time that we open the door. At the end of the Seder, we open our doors again for the prophet Elijah. Our tradition says that Elijah is the one who knows the answers to all the questions. He will usher in a time of universal justice and peace. And this year in particular, as we witness the ongoing tragedy and brutality that Russia is perpetrating on Ukraine, we know just how desperately we need that time to come. But this unification of humanity is symbolized in the Haftarah portion that we read actually this Shabbat, when the prophet Malachi tells us that God will send us Elijah to turn the hearts of parents to their children and the hearts of children to their parents. What better sign of peace could there be than the reconciliation of families? And so Malachi tells us that that day will be a Yom Gadol V'Norah, a great and awesome day. And that's why this Shabbat is called Shabbat Hagadol, the great Shabbat, the Shabbat on which we read about this great day of peace to come. But we know that that day does not just come. We have to bring it through our actions and our attitudes. We know that food security does not just come. We have to bring it through our generosity and our policies. We know that peace and reconciliation do not just come. We have to bring them through our kindness and our compassion. Each week we wish each other Shabbat Shalom, but it's not enough to wish for Shalom, to pray for Shalom. We have to work for Shalom. We enact this attitude when we light our Shabbat candles. We do not just have lights on. The candles do not just start to glow by themselves. We have to light them. We have to make them burn. Because if we want our world to glow with the light of Shalom, we must kindle it ourselves. And then it will truly be a Shabbat Hagadol, a great and awesome Shabbat. And so as we continue by lighting our Shabbat candles, we commit ourselves to opening the door to a more just, more kind, more peaceful world. And so we have a parent and child to light our candles tonight, Anita and Rhonda, if you would come lead us.
Watch out. Watch out. It's like an obstacle course here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
But it is hard for there to be peace on Shabbat, for us to experience the peace of Shabbat, when our hearts are heavy with worry or concern for our loved ones and friends who are facing illness. And so especially on Shabbat, we direct our love and attention toward them, hoping for them to return to health and wholeness, the true meaning of Shalom. Whether their struggles are physical or spiritual or emotional, we pray now for their well-being. Tonight in our TCS family, we think especially of Judy Alpert, Phyllis Burke, Teresa Budd, Arthur Campbell, Tony Casella, Mike Cohen, Valerie Frank, Jonathan Gardner, David Glazer, Marilyn Hoffman, Nathan Kaufer, Cheryl Leahy, Melvin Lippman, Janice Mussman-Albertini, Fredley Mercado, Tracy Paveo, Albert Schechterman, Michael Schreiber, Judy Shapiro, Iris Sherman, Devorah Bat Yaakov Vishurli, Yonina Bat David HaKohen V'Sarah. If there's someone for whom you are particularly concerned tonight, whose name you'd like to mention aloud, I invite you to do so now.
Sam Brewer.
Christopher Kay.
Gary Weiner.
hold in our hearts all of our friends and loved ones who are ill as we join in our prayer for healing. Yishabera.
Mishabera avotenu mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishabera imotenu mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Please rise for Baruch. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamivorach. Baruch Adonai Hamivorach leolam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamivorach leolam va'ed. Yai dai 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 dai. 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 You may be seated. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Ahavta 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 Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Ahavta 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 Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu לימדת. אותנו לימדת. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל עמך, אהבת, 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 אהבת עולם, בית ישראל עמך, אהבת, 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 תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. אותנו לימדת. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל עמך, אהבת, 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 אהבת עולם, בית ישראל עמך, אהבת, 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 תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. אותנו לימדת. אותנו לימדת. אותנו לימדת. אותנו לימדת. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 A key part of the story of Pesach, which many of us will hear at length over a meal in around a week, is the exodus from Egypt, the escape from Egypt. And there is a key moment in the story of jubilation when the Israelites are finally out of Egypt. Wait, it's not over yet, because Pharaoh changes his mind and chases them with his army of chariots, a ragtag band chased by an army of chariots, until they are faced with the Red Sea on one side and Pharaoh's army on the other. And they are saved by God's great miracle of splitting the Red Sea, and they cross to the other side. And the Egyptian army is not quite so lucky in that endeavor. And so finally they are free of Egypt and free of the threat of being re-enslaved. And they break out into song, led by Miriam on the tambourine, and the women dancing in something called the Song of the Sea, Shirat Hayam. And in the context of our service, this is part of the beautiful theological framework that we place lovingly around the Shema, starting with the universal relationship with God as creator of all, regardless of where you are or your religion or anything, and then leading to God as revealed to us in God's truth, in God's Torah. And then the Shema, and now God as Savior, God who saves us, so relevant to our Passover ceremony. And Mi Chamocha, the prayer that we are about to sing, is from Shirat Hayam, the Song of the Sea, this song of jubilation after being saved. We'll sing Mi Chamocha in a responsive way, meaning I sing and you repeat what I sing. Then we'll create a musical bridge to the beginning of the Amidah, Adonai Sfatai, in which we ask God for God's help in praying, because praying is not always an easy thing to do. At the conclusion of Adonai Sfatai, while we're creating that bridge, we'll stand for the Amidah. After we finish singing, I invite you to find the prayers of the Amidah in your own heart and mind. Or if you wish to, you could get a Siddur. But the prayers in your own heart and mind are just as good for our private meditation with God. Mi chamocha Ba'elim Adonai Mi kamocha Nedar b'kodesh Nora Tehilo Oh say Fele Yai dai 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 Yai dai 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 Yai 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 dai 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 Yai dai 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 Yai dai 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 Adonai Sifatai Tiftach Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha Adonai Sifatai Tiftach Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha Ose shalom bimroma Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael Yoshvei Tevel Ve'imru Oseh shalom bimroma, Yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Oseh shalom bimroma, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 Oseh shalom bimroma, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Oseh shalom bimroma, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 ye le 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 Oseh shalom bimroma, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Please remain standing for V'hashevotava for Aleinu. V'hashevota Eleinu Ki Adonai, Hu HaElohim, V'Hashevota, El Levavecha, Ki Adonai, Hu HaElohim, V'ne'emar, V'haya Adonai, V'melech al kol ha'aretz, Bayom hahu, Bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushemo echad.
Please be seated. As we prepare for Kaddish, we recall the loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have taken into our hearts with our own. Tonight, we especially remember Donnie Emerson, brother of Joe Emerson, for whom we are still in Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning. And our congregational family remembers with special affection our loved ones whose yahrzeit will occur this coming week. Sonny Bloom, husband of Maxine Bloom, Robert Berkowitz, brother of Michael Berkowitz, and Jenny Blackman, grandmother of Jeffrey Blackman. If you are remembering someone this evening, I invite you to say that person's name aloud now.
Dorothy Goldstein, Lady Mission of Gertrude Cross.
Mary Beth Carney. Myra Sachs.
Zichronam livracha. May the memories of all our dear ones be a blessing. If you're saying Kaddish in someone's memory tonight, we ask you to rise now. In loving support of the mourners, we rise as a congregation. In gratitude to God for the gift of the lives of their loved ones, those who are in mourning and those remembering someone, say Kaddish. Yitgadal,
Yitgadash Merabah, Elmad Yivrach Yerutei V'Yamlich Malchutei, V'chayechon V'yomechon, V'chayei L'chol Beit Yisrael, V'agala V'zman Kariv V'imru Amen, Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mevarach Le'olam Olamei Omaya, Yitvarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar V'yitaleh V'yithalal Shemei D'Kudsha B'richu, Le'ela Mikol Birchata V'shirata, Tushbechata V'nechemata, Damiran B'alma V'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mroma, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen.
May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort all of the bereaved. And we say, Amen. May be seated. Rhonda, there you are.
Welcome to TCS, where value innovating education, building community, honoring individuality, drawing meaning from Judaism, and upholding our social responsibility. All of our programming, including the ones I will mention today, reflect these values. Tomorrow, Torah study, now in person, with bagels and coffee, and remote with Rabbi Carr at 9 a.m. 6 p.m., Havdalah service. Sunday from 10:30 to noon, join us at TCS for a Passover-inspired escape room adventure. Free event for families with young children. Team up with your kids to search for clues that will help you solve the hidden puzzle to escape from Egypt. Enjoy some lively Passover songs, storytelling, and a craft. Tell your friends. Next week's Passover reminders. No Friday night service next week. It's the first night of Passover. Next Saturday at 6 p.m., online Passover Seder, RSVP required. Some of us still are unable to be together in person for Passover this year. So once again, we have the amazing opportunity to come together online to sing, pray, and celebrate the second night of Passover as a community. We also invite all those attending to extend the invitation to their family and friends. RSVP link is in your email, Passover and weekly email. Saturday, April 23rd at 6 p.m. at TCS, Havdalah service and post-Passover pizza party. We will say that one 5 times fast. We will celebrate the end of Passover with a community Havdalah service and free pizza party. This event will be live and in person at TCS for members only. Weather permitting, we will meet outside. RSVP by Monday, April 18th. RSVP link is in your email. Are you doing spring cleaning? The Greater Area Attleboro Council for Children is asking for your donations of clothing, shoes, bedding, towels, handbags, and belts. Sorry, no hard goods like small household items, toys, books, etc. for this drive. This is being coordinated by Temple member Sandy Newfield. Collection, information, etc. is in the Monday weekly email. Information and links to all activities are included in your weekly emails on Mondays, as well as special notices. Please remember to return your name badges to the drawers in the foyer before you leave the temple. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
Thanks, Rhonda.
The last time I'm gonna say this.
No, it's not.
It's not? Oh, okay.
You know better.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
I just wanted to let you know that on Tuesday, we sent a donation to CJP on behalf of the Ukrainian Emergency Fund in the total amount of $12,400. I want to thank everybody for contributing and for their heartfelt support of our brothers and sisters in the Ukraine. Thank you all, and Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you.
You can interrupt for that kind of announcement anytime.
Could someone volunteer to bring some challah here? We're going to make kiddush and motzi from this table here. Some challah. So I would like to also thank some people. I'd like to thank Joe Emerson and the people at Emerson Advertising for making the Shabbat Nashira logo. That's so beautiful on your sheet. And especially Abe Kempner for the development of that logo. I'd like to thank Karen Levine, and everyone who's helping her make our dinner organization possible for this potluck dinner, the first one that we're having in a long time. And I'd like to thank all of our Mavarchim, all of our blessers, for creating so much beautiful energy for us tonight. You probably noticed that while this isn't our regular service in a number of different ways, we're following mostly the regular order of prayers, but we're making some changes. We did just have an exception, or we're about to have an exception. We're about to do Shalom Aleichem, which is usually one of the first things we do in the service, and we're going to do it the last thing in our service. And that is because we are transitioning to Shabbat dinner mode. And Shalom Aleichem is a hymn that serves multi-purposes. You know, we often start services with it, and it's also part of the Shabbat table service. So we decided that we're going to make it part of the table service preceding Kiddush and Motzi here. So please join me for Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharei, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem Leshalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchuni Leshalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzedchem Leshalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, 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 HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's time for the challah to come here. It's behind me. Wow, I didn't even see that. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Oh, Kiddush first. Oops.
Okay.
Please join me for Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'yahava uvratzon hinchilanu זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן. You want to do it? And you know it's a special day when we have such a beautiful challah. Look at that. Oh, look at that. That's not bought in no store. Where will I stand for that? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Special thanks, of course, to David Rothberg for organizing and creating and bringing together this whole group, this whole Shira experience. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom. It's a good one, Karen.
It's always a good one.
It's always a good one when Karen makes it.
So the interesting thing is, you change this every single time you do it. You do know that.
I have a.
So we're in the Hashivota, typically you'll do that 3 times. So the 3rd time is when I do and go into the harmony.
Maybe I won't bother you. I won't bother you, boy. Wait, a religious question.
Normally you don't want me to do harmony on the first Shabbat. So.
You cut the house base or whatever it is, you cut that out.
Normally we do a harmony. Okay.
And you're even not supposed to join on Shalom. Oops, Shalom.
Okay. Beep beep.
I thought there were 2 songs that we were supposed to come in on.
No, I think we're supposed to come in on no say Shalom. We did
Last night we didn't.
I wasn't here last night.
No. No matter.
I was trying to do business last night. Always interesting. Very beneficial for the company as well as so it's going to get before Boston, last Boston. I'd say that.
It's crazy.
We worked on it for 6 months.
I don't understand.